Oi. What are you saying, fam? What are you saying?
You have come and you have shown yourself on global TV.
What are you saying, fam? I'm Nino.
Those that know, no. IYK.
What are you saying, fam? I'm Nino.
My name is Oluchi Lulu.
And this is Thriving and Love and Relationships, innit? Now today, I'm going to be talking about some very key,
You're right, you're going to be talking about, because I'm just going to be listening and looking at you, because I don't know what you're on about.
For those who know, no. Anyways, so today,
But anyway, for those that watch our last episode, you notice that there's something that has come back again. It's the blazer. Like, my husband loved me so much in the first one that he was like, babe, you need to wear another of my blazer. And I was like, why not? You know, so, you know, like this color really, doesn't it like do something to my skin color? Anyway, yeah. Because I'm lying. If I'm lying, then you are lying. Because the twain have become one.
Next time we quarrel, I'll remind you about this statement. Please. Anyways, today we're starting a new series on our channel, and let's give you a backstory on what birthed this particular series. So we were listening to. Okay. Why are you annoying me? We were.
I'm sorry.
Focus on this thing.
I'm focused.
We were listening to a message, yes, and the pastor that was talking she was talking about. We usually get a lot of our revelations from some of these messages, and things just drop with us.
Yeah.
And that's how God usually speaks to us for this channel. She was talking about communication. It's Pastor Diola again. She was
Shout out Pastor Diola.
She was talking about communication and how couples need to communicate and all that. And she made one profound statement that never left us. She said something. She said communication is the blood of every relationship.
Yep.
Communication is the blood.
Everything rises
and falls on communication. And the scripture talks about how the life of the flesh is in the blood, which means that in every living organ, the life is represented by the blood. The moment that blood is taken out from a living substance, it dies. With that example, the same way for any relationship, the moment communication is taken out of a relationship, you know, the relationship eventually dies. And if you look at the major reasons that research and studies have given us for divorce, they might have different title names, but everything still rises and falls on communication. If it's irreconcilable differences, difference in religion, maybe infidelity.
Yeah. But before we even why would we even say it's communication? For example, now infidelity. If somebody goes out to cheat on another person, well, it could be for different reasons. One, it could be that the person has self-control issues and hasn't spoken to his or her partner to let the person in on the weakness that they have.
Yeah.
It could be that you are not being satisfied sexually and you've gone out to look for somebody else. Yeah. Again, because you haven't spoken about it.
With communication.
Still communication.
It still ties back into communication. Even people that get divorced because somebody was violently abused, is that the man or the woman wants to communicate, but they don't know how to communicate using their words, so they're now communicating using their face.
It can even be that the person was communicating, but communicating in the wrong way. That's the person that was abused.
Yes.
Because sometimes when women are being hit, their mouth too. If there's no reason for a man to hit a woman, but there are some women that would provocate the man with the way they speak, and that's communication, but it's just the wrong kind of communication.
Yes. And then the man also wants to respond to that, to being spoken to in that way, and then he communicates using his face. Or the woman, because in this generation I see a lot of women
they spoke to men.
So I mean, abuse is wrong on all forms, but at the root of abuse is improper communication. So whatever, or lack of it. So whatever it is, we realized that communication is actually truly the blood of every relationship. And then when we heard that, we decided to now take a deep dive into communication, different aspects of communication. You know, there's so many types and facets of communicating. There's communicating through body language, communicating through words,
Verbal and
communicating
non-verbal
through, you know, all sorts of things. If I'm not communicating, it's even a communication in
I'm
itself.
not saying something.
It's a communication in itself. So under this particular topic, we're going to be talking about taking one part out, and we're going to be sharing with you what we've learned about this, and we'll also be talking about where we fall, you know, within this category. And so today, what are we talking about?
Types of listeners.
Yes. So we're going to be talking about types of listeners. I'm sure you most likely might not have heard this type of topic before, because you just think listening is just choking your ear there.
I'm listening. I can hear you.
In fact, there are some of you that as you are listening, you fall into one of this. As you are watching this episode, you think you are listening fully, but you are not in that particular category. So there are 5 types of listeners, and we are going to run through all the types of listeners so you know where you fall in. And the last type of listener is where everybody should strive to get to. So, number 1 type of listener is the non-listener. The non-listeners, they are inside the conversation because they have to be there, or because of the nature of the speaker. For example, student to teacher. Most students don't want to be in class, but they have to be there because of the teacher. Your father or mother wants to talk to you, you dare not be in that conversation. You know, your husband wants to talk to you, your wife wants to talk to you, your boss wants to talk to you. Most of the times you are just there because you are under authority, or because of the nature of the person. And usually these type of people, when listening, it shows on their body language that they don't want to be there, but it's only out of respect that they are listening to you. Some of you might fall into this category, especially when it has to do with your spouses, because as far as they are concerned, what this person has to say doesn't concern you. But
how do you say it again? You're
telling us you're in Okpak, balls, you're Zoe, you know.
Zoe is not level.
No, it's a different type of Zoe on the streets.
Wow.
These are that's the type called non-listeners. So that's number 1. Now, number 2. These types of listeners are called the passive listener. So they are there because, they want to be there. But however, they are usually not listening 100%. These type of listeners are usually multitasking. So they can be having a conversation with you and they are also on their phone.
Or you can be having a conversation with them.
Yes. And they are on their phone, on Instagram, probably also eating. So it's like,
or typing away on the laptop.
Exactly. So their body language is showing that they are not really inside the conversation. They are there, and you say that if you are talking to them, you usually have to say, "Are you listening to me?" You're like, yes. Maybe you said that Jumoke fell down the staircase. They say, okay, well, you now tell the person, okay, what did I say before Jumoke fell down? I say, yeah. It doesn't matter now. They say that she has fallen down, continue. So you usually would have to bring the attention back.
And do you know how is it your mom that you learned that thing that say
Ojulorowa? I hope I pronounce it well.
The gist is inside the eye.
Inside the eyes.
So you have to make there are different aspects to it, but when you're talking to somebody, you should be looking at the person. And my mom, that's what I learned. My mom, she's talking to her on your phone.
Yeah.
Abi shoti yawe ni.
See, this generation we've spoke, because in those days, you dare not, your parents are talking to you.
Can't try it.
You're laughing, like, Mom, don't worry, I'm listening to you.
Eyeball to eyeball.
Video call, self. You must be looking at the video like this, and they're looking at you so that they know that you are.
My mom now is now chilled. Maybe I'm talking to her and I'm looking somewhere. She'll just say, "Calmly, I think you're busy. I'll just call you another time." Exactly. She's not chilled now. Before, what are you doing? Am I not talking to you?
And that's actually, how listening should be. But anyways, these are so some of you now are watching this episode, and you most likely have Amala and Begri on one side, and you have Instagram on the other side, and you're watching it on the laptop, and you're like, oh my, I heard that this babe has got him married, and then you take one and like, so it's like your attention is all over the place. So usually you will not get 100% of the gist. Okay, so going to the 3rd type of listeners. These are called the content listeners, not content as far as content.
No.
It's content. Like content creator.
As Instagram content.
Like what is within a conversation. These people, they don't give you any emotion. All they are concerned about is the content of the conversation. They analyze it and they respond to you logically. So you might be talking to them, they might not be saying anything or doing anything. You might say, are you listening to me? I'm like, I'm listening. All they want to do is that just get to the gist. So for example, you want to say, let me tell you what happened at the office today, and then you start with, that's how when I was driving on the road, VIO stopped me. And then I got to the office, and then the security, the fact that until you get to what happened when you're at the office, they are blanking out. It's like, you can see it in their body language that it's like, okay, so what happened? Why you give me the badges? They just want to listen for content so that they can analyze it and say, so out of everything you say, what you are saying that today, your boss gave you more work than you wanted to do. Abi? And their response is usually like, well, in work, these things happen. And better next time, do this, do that. There's no empathy, there's no emotion. They're just listening for content.
And there are mostly people who will give you a solution to...
a solution to...
in whatever it is you say. If you're ranting, next time do this. If it's not that it's rants, you're just giving it this, but you should have done this. We didn't ask you.
Yeah, so it's a logical, they usually will give you a logical response to whatever. They've analyzed everything and usually will give you a logical response to it. So they are in the conversation, but not with their full body language or not with their full eyes and everything. So these are the content listeners. Yep. Now, number 4 type of listeners. They are called action listeners. Now these people, they listen with one purpose in mind, to respond. They don't listen to assimilate or to understand, they listen to respond. They usually would cut you off because they know what you are going to say and they want to cut you short so that they can hurry up the conversation. They usually have people that say, wait, let me finish now, let me finish so you understand. They want to respond. Today my brother got dumped too. If he had done this and done that, he would have, then this is why he would not have gotten dumped. But him on his own hand, he was not being the best boyfriend. So they give you solution, they want to respond to what you are saying. Not even about the content, is that as they're talking, they feel like they are in a position to always give
and they're the ones that will usually okay, you've already said that
they'll cut you short while you're talking, they'll cut you halfway while you're talking. You usually will have to say, let me finish. These are the action listeners. So you might be there and you might be listening and you're like, they're always very critical about what you are saying, which is, you said it, let me respond. They want to respond to every aspect of this.
And then the debate pass.
Exactly. These are the debate people. This is after, in fact, that's the best word, they debate. Because if you're in a debate, the other person is not listening to understand. His point. The point you give, I hear you, but this is the response to that point. That's all they are there to. They're not there to understand, they're not there to empathize and all that. So these are the action type of listeners. Now, which brings us to the last category and where everybody should strive to be in. These people are called the active listeners. Active listeners, number 1, emotionally, physically, mentally present in the conversations.
Exactly.
They give off all verbal cues, non-verbal cues, body language, everything is present. They are emotionally present, there's empathy and there's support. Now, these listeners are usually the one that when you are talking, they carry everything put aside. They face you. Hey, are you serious? Your mom said what? No, finish. And then you will now respond. I'm like, can you imagine what she have said? I'm like, actually, she shouldn't have said that, but you know what? Finish. Are you serious? Hey, are you man? Oh my goodness, I wish I was there with you. I'm really sorry this happened. They are fully present, fully whatever. In fact, they make you feel like somebody is actually truly hearing me. Usually you see this traits in counselors. And whenever counselors are listening to you, the empathy is there. You can hear them.
And we give you all our attention.
Give you all the attention. She said all our attention. So, anyways, these are the active listeners. So this is where we all should strive to be. If you are in a conversation with your spouse, every little conversation should be seen as important. Your spouse or your partner should never feel like as if what they are saying does not matter. Because in communication, how you treat when somebody is talking to you also sends a message to that person that I'm important, I'm worth your time, I'm worth you sitting down, leaving work, leaving that movie, leaving Instagram to listen to me. So it is important for you to strive to be an active listener. So, my wife, for us, where do we fall into this category?
Excuse me. Okay, so so for you, you I want to say oxygen. For you move like a tide between the passive and the action.
In the action. Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes content too.
So me, I can be all three.
It can be all three at different times. Yeah.
I'm bad like that.
Yeah. So sometimes you are not. I know that you are listening, but in your head you are thinking, we need to pay for this. We need to pay for that. When I get to the office, I need to give Sayad that envelope, you know. And I can hear your brain just going round and round as I'm talking to you, right? Some other times is that you're actually on your phone and I'm talking, right? Then for the content one, I think that's where you dwell.
My abode.
That's your abode. You're just there to give me logical bag. Yeah, just like, because there was one even happened yesterday when I was telling you about something about my sister, and you were just like, well, if this had happened, if that had happened, I'm like, I'm just sharing good news with you now. Calm down. Yes. And then what's the other one? The action. Sometimes I just want to rant. You know, I'm not asking for your advice. I know what to do. And the next thing is, this is what you need to do. You need to do this. I'm like, okay.
So side note, men, usually a lot of us will fall into action with our spouses because men want to take care of, want to fix things for our spouses. So usually when your wife is saying something, you're already thinking about the solution. Most times than not, they would actually just want to rant. Sometimes they want solutions. But usually you would know from the approach they take to the conversation whether they want your solution. So yes, guilty as charged.
Because if we actually want any, the next thing we'll say is, so what do you think?
Yeah.
That's your cue to give us advice.
And I know it's very difficult, men out there, to not be in this situation because it's like you just want to help this damsel in distress, you know. So yes, so those are the categories I fall into.
Then where do I
so for you. I'll call you PC. Passive content. So it's together. It's not passive and content. So she's passive content listener. For passive, in regard that, oh my goodness. So my wife likes to be busy.
That's not true. Okay, it's true.
My wife likes to be busy.
Oh God.
She likes to be doing. So she wants. So since I mean, for you, I know that she's not even a sango. But inside this house, she's here. She's there. Before we even go to bed, she will turn off this. She'll do all this. She'll go there. I'm like, okay, carry your load and let's go into the room. So to catch, even for example, let's say I'm at work and she's there and I call her. From my facial expression, I can already see that she's doing two things at a time. So if I'm saying the gist, she's like, I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you. So she can be very passive in that regard, and it shows all over her face that she's there.
It's work on my face. I really it's work on my face.
I think there was one time where I wanted to share something with you, and it was very that conversation that we had now when we were in the room and you were on your phone and I tapped and I was like, because it was because I don't like to share my feelings about stuff, so I mustered up the courage and I wanted to say something, and I think she was on her phone. I said, babe. So like, yeah. I said, I want to talk about something. And she was like, I'm listening now. I felt like throwing out the bed. It's me, I tell you. And she was facing the other direction and she was on Instagram. And he said, I'm listening. I said, Jesus is Lord. I said, God, now that I want to share this thing that is on my heart with this woman. See what she's doing.
It was the devil.
Because that conversation is a conversation that is very difficult for me to have. You know, and she didn't know that, but you know, it was just her in her habitat of passive listening. And then
content.
Oh, my wife. Content. Lulu.
And maybe the content
Is it Lulu and no emotions on her face? God. God, you are a good father. So my wife can be very. she can tend sometimes. Sometimes.
She can tend to be
very unemotional on her body language. So you can be saying something to her and her response is like, is delayed, because it's like, she's just like, yeah, okay. And you are thinking like,
the counselor's face.
this is not exciting. What I'm saying is not exciting, or is it not making you feel sad on my behalf?
Counselors are meant to have poker faces.
If I poker your eye. Do you understand? And she just wants to hear the content of what I'm saying so that she can just give me. So it's like, so, and that also falls into place sometimes when we're quarreling. So for example, if I say something, so one thing happened a couple of weeks ago, and I had finished talking about how I expressed my feelings, and the moment I said full stop, she said, I'm sorry. I said, this your apology is too fast. I said, nobody apologizes that fast. For you to apologize that fast, you did not assimilate everything I just said. But you have said your pain now. The next thing for me is you don't apologize. So that's the thing. So she was listening, that all she was saying is that at the end of this man is hot. Sorted. If I say apology, everything don't die down. Because she didn't want confrontation. And can you imagine saying, I wanted an apology, but like, this apology is too quick. For you to apologize too quick, you did not properly assimilate. Another way we said that body language is very key in communication.
Or when you had told me that I had done something, and then instead of apologizing, I just went straight to the solution. You said I did something right. Okay, so this is the solution to it.
Exactly.
So let me move.
I had to bring up, like I said, what I just said, I communicated something I was not happy about. You first apologize before we go to the solution. So yes, she can be very content listener prone, you know. So that's where we fall in. But with this conversation, we've been, I think yesterday when you were talking to me about your sister, you were like, no sir, you have been a content listener in my other. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. I'm happy. So I had to roll back. Yeah. So I think this conversation is very good to have with you, and most of you that will be listening to you most likely would know over time where your spouse has fallen into or where you fall into. And the goal for both of you is active, and it's not for you to go there and say, hey, when I say you're always a passive listener. This what we are doing is to help, not to condemn anybody.
And when you listen to something, use it to check yourself first
before you carry it, because a lot of people hear something and then they immediately just forward to their spouse and say, you see what I've been saying is because we always look for someone to confirm what you are saying to us. And no, the fact is you work on yourself first, then have a conversation and say, babe, I learned this thing today and it's really helping me, and I think that is something we can do. Not say I think it's something that you should do. Something that we can do together. Actually, there are 5 types of listeners. Where do you think you fall into? The person says, I'm an active listener now. He's like, actually sometimes, even if the person is not active listener,
or do you know one trick that I've learned with you is, I will ask you, like for example, I'll say, where do you think I fall under? And then I will just leave it at that. You will not be prompted to ask me.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can do that too.
So you're messing with my mind.
No.
I will never answer that question.
So like you always want to get feedback about yourself. So you always ask me. That's the truth. Without having to ask you, I think you ask me. My content passive active listener.
CPA.
But
anyway, so yes, talk to your spouse about this, and we truly believe that this will help you because it has helped us. It's part of things we're learning on this journey. There's no premarital class that is going to teach you this, you know. It's something that they should include in their premarital, but these are things that you might not hear in any premarital class.
Along the way.
Exactly, and the reason why we are doing this is because we don't just want to be the only ones at the top, because we don't want to be lonely at the top. So we want to be at the top, enjoying marriage, and we want you guys to be there with us. Do you understand? So that's the reason why we are bringing it out here for everybody to learn, and we truly, really hope that you learned something today.
Can I just say one last thing, right? In secondary school, I think it's in social studies where I learned that there is a cycle of communication. There is the speaker, there is the message, there is the listener, then it comes back to the speaker, which means that communication never truly is complete till what the speaker is saying is what the listener
Has heard.
Yeah. You know, so many times we'll say, but I told him now, I've spoken to him about it now, but I've told her now, I've been talking to her about it since. But the way you are speaking, is it really the way the person should receive it?
Has the person really received
it? Yeah. Yes. And you that you are listening, what the person is saying might not be saying it in the right way, but knowing the person, you know, can you decipher what the person is saying without really the person spelling it all out, you know, and listen with everything you have, your eye, your leg, your hand, your nose, your everything, so that communication can be complete.
Yeah. Actually, it's good. It's good.
Unagi.
Alright, guess you understand? They feel about it. So what you said is, and in simple terms, it's just that what we always say that we try to do, which we really encourage everyone to do this. It's good if someone, but you have to use wisdom in it. Yeah. Not when somebody is angry that you now use it. If you guys are having a conversation and this person says, the cat jumped off the wall, you would say, this is what I'm hearing. Is that what you are saying? And then the person that said it can now either confirm or deny. I'm not gonna say, is this what you mean? What do you mean? Exactly. Don't see people, and this wisdom with this generation, we need to learn tact, poise, wisdom, emotional intelligence in everything we do, because we just take things and we don't apply. There's a statement that says, if the truth is not communicated in love, then the truth becomes obsolete and the communicator is termed obnoxious. Wow. Do you understand? So if the truth is not communicated in love, and that love has wisdom inside, I won't say if your communication is not done with wisdom, then your communication is obsolete and you are termed obnoxious. Do you understand? So if somebody is saying something to you, it always helps to try and repeat back if you're not fully understanding, so that you will never have the situation where the person says, but I told you this, and you're like, me? You didn't say that. And I've had those type of quarrels with maybe a colleague or someone, and the person is like, but I said this to you. I'm like, you don't say this to me. But maybe the person actually said those words, but what I heard was actually something entirely different. So if you want to communicate with someone, make sure that at the end of communication, the listener or the end party understands perfectly well what you intended, because it's based on your intention to say. And you that you are listening. Listen fully well, so that the person that is communicating does not feel like they are wasting their time. You know, so thanks for that tidbit, my beautiful sweetheart. Take off my jacket after this. No, anyways, I will roll up the sleeve now. Hang you from the balcony. I will roll it up. I will hang you from the balcony. Hold it up. Hold it up. What you saying? What you saying? What you saying, fam? What you saying? Say less. Say less. Anyways, we hope that you learned something. We hope that this blessed you. If you did, please like, please share, please, as you guys usually do, comment, fill out our comments, get the conversation going there. How has it helped you? What have you learned from it? Who are you going to talk to about it and all that?
And you should stop doing, you know, it's beautiful. Thank you very much. I love it. But put the thing that you have learned inside there. Thank you. You need to comment my husband to, you know, it's answer. I know I'm this is too much.
I know. Thank you very much. Don't forget. Well, anyway, share your comments with us and follow us on Instagram at Nino and Lulu. And once again, I'm Nino.
And I'm Lulu.
She's Lulu. This has been Thriving
I Love and Relationship.